Classic yachts, vintage wine, and classic cars will probably always be in demand and will always be appreciated by connoisseurs of the field, whether the automotive industry, the wine sector, or the luxury yacht industry. But whilst the Bugatti 57 SC Atlantic Coupe may spend most of its life on display in a museum, and a 1787 Chateau Margaux may be kept as an investment in a humidity-controlled storage room, a luxury yacht cannot be held within those restraints and just has to be enjoyed in its natural environment, the ocean. This is the story of one of the world's most desirable classic yachts, the 116-foot classic Feadship Alhambra, as told by the yacht broker representing her.
Feadship globally is known as one of the leaders in yacht building. And Feadship have been around for many, many years. It's built up of 3 different sections which have come together, and they've made the first export association of Dutch shipyards. The 50s and 60s is when we start seeing Feadship in the form it's in today, with, you know, really hitting the private yacht sector. And the vessels would start out at 25, 26 meters, and then they gradually started growing. And by the time you reach the 70s, the vessels were comfortably in the range of 30 to 40 meters. And a number of these vessels have been carefully rebuilt, carefully restored, others have fallen into disrepair. We saw maybe the last 5 years there's been a very strong resurgence in the demand for classic Feadships. They've set up the Feadship Heritage Fleet, which, you know, once your vessel's, you know, sort of ticked off, it's been visited by the heritage members. They hold events every year, and we've seen definitely the demand's increased. Alhambra has got quite a long history. She was hull number 600 from the De Vries shipyard. She was built as Jardel, and she spent most of her life actually in the United States. The current owner found her in 2017 in New York. She'd been used under the name of Utopia 2 for a number of years. She'd been through a few refits, but was mainly used as a floating apartment in New York. The current owner of Alhambra, he has previously gone through rebuilding a classic Feadship. So he's got the experience, he knows what he's doing. His last Feadship was slightly smaller, and he was looking for something with an additional cabin. He was looking for more space and better seakeeping capabilities. The opportunity came up for Alhambra as Utopia 2, and he set to work on the refit. She came back to the Mediterranean. He paid the VAT on the vessel. He took it to Monaco Marine, and they went through the boat and they completed a number of technical works, a number of structural works. And then from 2019 right through until 2022, every winter she's gone to Turkey, which is where the captain is from. And under his supervision and under his management, they have rebuilt Alhambra into a highly successful charter yacht. Alhambra now, she's got new paint, she's had her sun deck restyled, she has new teak on her sun deck, she's had her engines overhauled, she's had her generators fully serviced, she's had the electricity systems throughout rewired, she's got new lighting, new headliners, all the bathrooms have been rebuilt in Turkish marble, and the result is clear to see. She's in fantastic condition, and her charter clients absolutely love her. Alhambra has 2 main features which stand out for her. And the first big selling point of Alhambra is her sun deck. Previously, the sun deck was used for tender storage. The owner has decided to move the tenders forward. He runs it also with the chase boat, which has allowed the entire sun deck to be opened up. It has the teppanyaki grill, It has large seating area, it's got a private dining space, you can set up a cinema in the evening, it's got a double-sided bar, and this predominantly is where guests spend most of their time. The other thing that sets Alhambra apart is her interiors. As you walk on board, you go through the aft deck, you enter the main salon, and the main salon is very voluminous. It's got a dining space, it's got a very nice forward seating area, it's got a private pantry just forward it for the stewardesses. The main deck has got 2 further guest cabins on it. As you go forward, you'll find a VIP cabin. It used to be a study on board, it still could be converted back to a study. They fitted an ensuite facility. There's a second twin cabin which can be found on the aft of the bridge. This cabin previously was the captain's cabin, however they've refitted the crew area, so it's now a guest cabin. As you come down onto the lower deck, you have a full beam master cabin. And aft in the canoe stern area, you have a final double cabin. This was originally a twin cabin. They converted this in the last winter refit into the double that it now is. It gives you in total 5 guest cabins, so she can sleep 10 guests. She has space for 6 crew in the crew area, in 3 crew cabins. They refitted the galley this winter, and the crew area leads directly into the engine room.
A beautiful, classic Feadship with a wonderful history and an owner who has invested lovingly in her, for sure. But I know that viewers of this YouTube channel are always interested in knowing more about the mechanics, about the range, about the maintenance. I asked Ed what he could tell us about that.
Alhambra has a range of just over 2,300 nautical miles. She's extremely fuel efficient, and she still has her original Deutz diesel engines. These engines were overhauled in 2021. The generators were also overhauled, and so technically she's 100%. Her zero-speed stabilizers were refitted. Well, they were originally fitted in 2004. They'd have refitted in 2012. However, the captain and owner both say that due to her whole design and her canoe stern, they very rarely use the zero-speed stabilizer. She has a very nice balance in the water. She's an excellent sea-keeping vessel, and as a result, the stabilizers are rarely used. One of the important things for the owner during the refit was ensuring that guests can have good access to the water. With a canoe stern, traditionally it's more difficult to access the water, and he's custom built a passerelle that comes out of the stern and it's hydraulically goes down to the water level. So guests while on board can safely access the water. It also works perfectly while in ports. There's very few boats of this age which have this passerelle system on board.
Ed has actually assisted a remarkable number of people in finding and in purchasing the yacht of their dreams. And the owner of Alhambra has entrusted the sale of his yacht into his hands for good reason. So what should you do if you're interested in finding out more about this yacht?
For any person who's interested in Alhambra, we'd strongly recommend to visit. She's going to be based on the Italian Riviera for the winter. Her captain and crew will be on board and will be continuing maintaining the boat. And we'd love to invite you down. Come visit the boat and see what she has to offer. We can discuss her charter potential, what you'd like to do if you'd like to take her private. And we have all of these numbers on hand to discuss further. It's subject to good inspection, and if you're happy, please then put an offer forward. We can discuss it with the owner, and we can walk you through the sales process to completion.